Hexagon journals. That's something different. I have two different ones here, so stick around and let's see how to make them. Hi and welcome back to my channel. Now today I've been playing with my Hexagon templates. Now remember, this was one of my BB-Craft unboxings and makes. I'll put the link up here to that, and I've got a whole set of these Hexagon templates. Today I want to work with the 4-inch and the 2-inch one. We've got two different sizes here, and this may go over two videos because I've got two different journals. Now my original idea was this bigger journal, and I was just going to make it like a normal open shut type thing, and then when I got thinking about it, I thought, oh gosh, that's really boring. It's really boring. So out with that one and in with these ideas, and I'm still going to use this as my cover. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside for now. Now I had a little look around on the internet and I found some really cool folding ideas. So they're not my original idea, they're out there on the internet, they're just ways to fold hexagons, but I haven't seen them put into a book like this. So my first idea, and I will unfold this and show you, is, you know, the flower hexagon, the flower that you make with a hexagon. This book folds out to a flower, and you can see here, actually if I put it over this side, you can see the flower shape of the hexagon, but it all depends how you join these hexagons together. Okay, and you know what, you could also do this with fabric. That would look beautiful. You could make a little needlebook like this out of fabric. So today I'm having a play with paper, and what I have done a little bit ahead of time is to hang on, you fold it. I've got valley and mountain folds here. I've got to pay attention to that. And what I've done to make these is use the paper bags from the grocery store. Okay, this one here is very different, but still it's not my original idea. It's all how you fold these, and I have made this into a book as well, and it's with lots of hexagons. So I'll just unfurl this, and this is with this type of hexagon. Okay, and this all opens up to books, little books either side. Okay, it looks complicated, but it's really easy. So we'll tackle this one second, and we'll get on with this one today. All right, so what you're going to need is some paper bags. Get out your paper bag. We've all got a stash of these, okay? And the way that I deconstructed my bags was fairly easy. Like, this is the bag, you know, how they come and how I fold them up to store them. All I've done is cut down one side. This is the quickest way to deconstruct it, I think. Cut one down one side, cut down the other side, get rid of that, and then when you open it out, okay, the gussets are going to fall out, the gussets of the bag. Open up the gussets because you can certainly use them for your journal cards, backing your journal cards, all that type of thing. So make sure you save all your gussets. I've got a big pile of them over here. Okay, and I just sit them under something to flatten them out. They could cover or back a lot of journal cards, so make sure you save your gussets. Okay, then all I'm going to do is tear off the handles Don't need them, and we don't need to fuss too much with all that sticky stuff. Just get off as much as you can, if you can. Our visitors left this morning. Well, they had a lovely time while we were here. It was so nice to see them. They are on their way to Western Australia, and I'm so jealous. Not jealous in a bad way, but just jealous because I would just love to be in Western Australia. All right, and then you've got the bottom of your bag. Now, if you can deconstruct the bag in another way, go right ahead. This is just the quickest way I found to deconstruct it. Okay, and then you're left with two nice bits of brown card there. This is the bottom of the bag, and what I do with that is just fold it in half like that, and then I'm left with a heap of folded in half bags like this that I could go ahead and make into another journal. So I'll keep all those bottoms as well as the gussets. All right. Now, what you need to do is cover this. I might just hop that out of the way so I'm nice and flat. But glue the words together, so you're left with a nice piece of thicker, crafty sort of card. You know, that craft colour, and the words then are glued inside of it. So I'm just going to put glue stick. You can use whatever glue you like, just one that's not going to wrinkle it, you know. So like a dry glue stick like this, and cover it with the glue stick. I've got a lot of these glue sticks because every time Aldi has their back to school sales, they always have this brand, and they always sell it, I think, in packs of 6. So every back to school sale, I buy a pack of it and put it away to use, and they work great. Right, so get your other side of the bag and just glue them together so that it makes a thicker piece of card. Alright, now I've got a heap of these already glued together, so I would put that underneath, probably underneath my mat, just to take and dry and stick. Right, so I've got a heap of these already glued together, and today I want to use on this one. Now this is I think this was the biggest hexagon, and the book that I made was a little bit smaller because I thought, well, I'll quickly make something up to see what I'm actually doing, but I didn't want it that small. I could certainly use that and decorate it. I probably will end up doing that, but I wanted to accommodate this paint and stitch picture that I did, and I'll try and link that up there, how I did this. So I ended up choosing the 4-inch, oh, it's really bugging me, a piece of fingernail coming off. I ended up choosing the 4-inch hexagon as my journal. Okay, so I might use bits of this and cut it up if I run out of this sort of card. Now, what you need to do is take your sheets that you've glued together that are all nice and dry, and I want to trace around my 4-inch hexagon, and you will need 7 of these. Okay, now you also need to, on one side of the hexagon, you will need to have a little flap, and it doesn't need to be any bigger than 2 centimeters, okay, or how much of an inch? Half an inch? Doesn't need to be any more than that. Okay, so then we cut out our hexagon. And then you're left with a shape like this. A hexagon with a 1/2 inch or 2 centimeter flap on one side. Doesn't matter what side, just any side. So now go ahead and score your line. This is your fold line. Okay, just make a score and give that a good fold. Give it a fold back and forward, because we don't know whether it's going to go be a valley fold or a mounted fold. Okay, now this design, I have put 3 sets of pages in here. Now if you open it up, and you're very ambitious, you could put more than 3 sets of pages. You could flip it over and you could put more pages on the other valleys as well. But just for simplicity's sake, we're going to put the 3 sets of pages in to this. So this one here, this size, I could easily cut the pages from an A4. Okay, a folded in half A4. But because this 4-inch hexagon is bigger, we need to just do a little bit of prep on the pages. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my pages together, and it's just as simple as just putting a little bit of glue stick down one end of your A4 page, and I'm just going to overlap that then and glue that together. Okay, because otherwise it's not going to, this size won't be big enough with an A4 folded in half. So go ahead and prep those pages. You need, I'm only going to have 2 pages in my book in each of those, so I'm just prepping those 6 pages, 6 A4 pages you'll need. But if you want more pages, go ahead and make more pages. I don't want this too bulky, this one anyway. The next book we do will have more pages in it, but yes, like I said, you could certainly put more pages in it if you want that. So I'm just going to do the 6 pages. That's my other one. I'll get a different kind of paper. These are some of my coffee dyed papers. I thought, oh, that would look nice in a little junk journal. And use whatever glue that you are comfortable using too. There's no hard and fast rules with this. Alright, so once we've got these 3 or these 6 pages glued together into 3 pages, so where it's been glued, that's going to fold up right against that glue line. Okay, so do that to your 3 pages. Just fold right up to that glue line and fold them over. Isn't this one a pretty pattern? I'll have to do more of that one. And then do the same to the 3rd one. Okay, so you've got then your pages folded. Alright, I went ahead and glued some more pages together. So I decided to have 2 lots of pages in there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 6 folded together. So you'll need 12 pieces of A4 paper That's if you want to put the 2 in, okay? So if you only want 1 fold, just do the 6, but if you want 2, do the 12 pieces and fold them over. Right, so all I'm going to do is put this part of my template, it doesn't matter what side, any flat side, along the fold. And then just, oops, make sure that's all in. And then you're just going to mark off your hexagon. Like that. So we're only going to mark 2 of them because we will clip them together and cut them out together. Okay, so just put your template on 2 of them. Now if you don't have these templates, you could print one out off the internet. They have all sorts of prints on the internet that you can cut out. Alright, so we're only going to mark 2 of them. This is just time saving sake. And then we'll put 3 together, okay? So we'll put 3 together in that stack, 3 together in that stack, and then we'll get a few clips. And just jimmy them down so that all the folds are together. And I'm just going to put a couple of clips on them just to keep it all snug. And then we're going to just save time and cut these out together. And sometimes when you cut multiple layers, you know, you get this little angled cut. Just go back and trim it, and then you'll have it right then. Now make sure that you save, if you've got any really pretty patterns like this, make sure you save those. What I do is just clip off the what I probably won't use, just save those bits. You can use them for other things, but you could also save all these bits too and put them on a master board, or put them in your paper stash and use all those little pattern pieces too. They're really fun, those little shapes, aren't they? So I might put them in my small paper stash. Alright, so I'll just put them aside. So you've got these 3 now all cut, and then we do the same to the others. Just jimmy them all down so all the folds are flush together, and put some clips on. And I just love doing these time saving sort of things when I cut things. So right, now we've got all our pages cut, and we are going to put them inside each other. So we're just going to pick what we like, where we want them. I like that one there, so I'll put that one inside there. Okay, and just arrange them then how you like them. Like that, and we're going to make 3 little signatures that just have 2 pages. And I like these little folds, these little strips here on these, so I'm matching all them up to be my 3 signatures. Alright, so you've got 3 little signatures, put them together and set them aside. Right, we're going to go back now to the card that we had originally cut out. Okay, and this is going to get stuck in a flower shape. Now, one thing you have to consider here is how we are going to cover it. Are we going to cover it? Are you going to what are you going to put on it? If you you know, all that sort of stuff. You need to decide that, especially if you want a main cover. Like I would like this to be my main cover on here. And I am thinking that I may glue stick it and then sew it. I think that will work best for my main cover. So what I'm going to do, I have now look, you could cover this just with scrapbook paper, anything. You could cover it with any sort of fabric, or you can just do your own artwork on it, or whatever, you know, you can cover it in whatever. But I really wanted to make this into something special, so I'm going to put this on one of them, and I'm going to use this glue stick. Dries clear, so I'm not worried about the purple, but I'm going to put it right up to the edge, and then hopefully I can get this on without too much problem. Now, one thing you need to consider too is where your book opens, which way your book opens. You want it to open that way, so you'll want to take note of how then you put this on here. If you want it to open this way, which I might get it, because I've cut it that way, I will get it to open this way. I need to see where that line is and try and go with that. Let's pull it across. So I'm just going to glue mine down. I'm just going to smooth out my little my fabric. Just make sure not too many wrinkles in it. Wrinkles and bubbles. And that glue dries clear, so I don't see that underneath, which is really good. And the glue stick is pretty good. It stays down pretty good on fabric. Right, now what I want to do, it's not perfect, but it's in the vicinity that I want it. And remember this marking here, that goes away with heat. Alright, so I'm going to glue down the inside too. Actually, I might just put glue like this. And then I'm going to glue my Hexagon fabric down. And I'm going to sew the edge of this, so once the glue dries. Now just remember, I've got a flap here too, so I'm going to just glue over this flap. May have to just put a little cut in that just to get that to sit right. I'm going to glue the fabric over that as well. Okay. Oh, I didn't make that little nick there. But look, there's so many ways you could cover this. So you can just do it whatever you want. I might cut a little bit of that off, it's a bit long. Right, I've got that now glued down, and this is then the front like that. And what I'll do is I'll just pop over the edge of that with my heat tool and get rid of those markings. Right, I'm going to set this cover now aside to dry, and when it's dry I will stitch around the edge of that with my sewing machine. Okay, I'm going to show you how I'm going to edge my cover, and I've got my sewing machine threaded up with a colour that I like. I've got it set, mine's a Brother sewing machine, and I have got my fancy stitch set on 24, and that is the stitch that it makes, little stars, and I thought that would look really pretty. So I'm going to start on the flap, Pickle, enough, and then work my way around. Okay, that's the sewing on my cover done. I went a little bit off course down here, but I'm not too worried about that. I can add a little tab there and hide that. But I really love how that's come up. It was just a little flower stitching on the sewing machine, and I just love how that looks. Alright, now we need to talk about the construction now of this. We've got all our pages together. We've got our inside pages together, and we need to look at the construction of it. Now, remembering this is a mock-up, and the one I'm doing is going to be bigger than this. Okay, now it looks a little bit confusing, but it really isn't. Just think about when you're doing your hexagons with your paper piece in, put it in the flower shape. This is the flower sort of shape that goes. Now, if you want to take a screenshot now of this pattern, do that while I've got it holding it up here. And I will talk you through it. Okay, the red on here represents your cuts, and that's your final cuts, you know, your final bits that are going to be cut and open. The blue on here represents all your fold lines. Okay, the green on here is the outer flower shape. The M, or the purple M's on here, are the mountain folds that you will do. The yellow V's are the valley folds. Okay, you've got valley folds here. The orange mark here, you've got an orange mark around all here. They are where you glue the tabs. Okay, the tabs that we drew on each hexagon. And the S, the 3 S's here marked, are where you will sew in your signatures. Okay, so if you missed that, I'll just put it in camera. If you missed that, take another screenshot, and that will show you where to place things, where to mark things, all that sort of stuff. All right, so if we look at that, we can see that I have glued a flap on here. Okay, and all around this in here, and all around this main middle hexagon, will stay open where I have written a cut line. Okay, because that's where it will be cut and stay cut open. Alright, and then your outer ones are just left like that with the green, and then all these ones here all around, like it's almost like a it just goes right round, a curl right round, you know, so you can see that it'll just curl around like that. Okay, this one down here is your cover flap, and then this one in the center of the flower is where you will start to fold. So you can see now when I fold it up, it will go around like in a spiral. So I'll go like this, and that will be a valley fold, and then this one will be a mountain fold, this one will be a valley fold, this one will be a mountain fold, this one will be a valley fold, and then we'll have another valley fold as the flap that covers it up. Okay, so that's how it's constructed. And you know, I've only put 3 signatures in here. You can see the marks where I've sewn these 3 signatures in. You could flip it over, and on the opposite ones you could sew more in, but I'm just doing this today to yeah, show you how to do just a basic one. Right, so in saying that, let's put our one together that we are going to make today. And where I've written sew in your signatures, I have just used a 3 pamphlet sewing stitch for that. You can sew it in however you like to put your signatures in. I'm not sure whether gluing it would work. You could try that, but today we're going to sew it in. Alright, so let's grab over all our bits and pieces. We've got our main pages with all our flaps on them like this. We've got 3 signatures, and we'll put them aside and we'll do them last. Okay, so let's pay attention to this because I want you to start in the middle. Okay, and we'll put this flap on last, our cover flap. Right, so let's pay attention to that. Let's get my glue. I'm just going to get some tacky glue because I think that will work the best. Alright, so remember, we're going to start in the middle of our hexagon, and it says here, it's okay, there's the middle, and it says here to put the flap on this side. Okay, so then we get the second hexagon, and the flap for this one is going to go up this way. So you can see the flap here and the flap here. Okay, so we're going to, oh, that one's coming undone. Alright, let's glue you down too. Right, so we're going to put some glue on this flap. And the easiest way to line it up is to place it down. Oh, I've got it on the wrong side. Place it down and put your fold against that line on the hexagon. Actually, I'll get this up. I might be able to see it better. Put our pages over here, get organised. Right, so just place it on there. And I'm going to have to cover up this. I missed one piece of card that... Oh, I missed 2. I didn't put the words in together, but we can cover them up. Alright, so we've got this flap down. Let me yeah, put it all straight. We've got this flap down, and then this next one is the flap here at the top. Okay, so we're going to put some glue on that. I hope I'm explaining this properly because it's not hard. It's not hard. You just got to put them in the right order, that's all. Okay, and I am going to then just sit this in next to this one here, but I'll turn it over so that I can get this. This one's a little bit tricky. Just close that up and lay that then right against that line on the next hexagon, so you get them all in nice and snug together. Okay, just give that a little bit to take. Just have a look at the other hexagons too. You want to try and, you know, it's not going to come out perfect, but just try and get them as close as you can to each other, in the way that when they fold up they sort of all sit in next to each other like that. And if you have a little bit that just comes over when you're snugging them up, just clip it off. Just that little bit that's hanging over. Right, let's see what we've got. We've got 3 on there so far. Okay, we've got the middle one. Hang on, let's yeah, am I right? Where are we? That's it. Like that. Okay, we've got this one here with this flap, this one here with this flap, and remember, this whole middle section stays open. Okay, it's the cut where it stays open. Now we go to our next one, and we're going around. Don't be concerned if that doesn't look like, when it's opened up, it's not exactly next to each other. I don't think it's going to matter really, because really it's when you open it that's when you close it, you want it so it's all sitting right. Okay, our next one. Now what have I done here? Our next one, we might have needed a flap on one of them. Yeah. Next one is going to go that way. So we're going around this middle. Put a C for center. Okay, that's my center hexagon. And when we go around, we're going to follow all the way around like this. Okay, if I can, oh yeah, my last one's the cover. So obviously there's one that doesn't need a flap. And that's okay, as long as we've got flaps on all of them, you can figure out which one doesn't need the flap. Right, our next one's going to follow around this center hexagon. Okay, so we'll put some glue on that one. Okay, and the easiest way is to fold that over and put it on the line of that previous hexagon. Okay, so that then it folds out that way. So we're going around the center, remember, and we get our next one and we put our glue on. I've got some bits of it are coming undone, so whatever's not, depending on what material you're using, like what sort of card you're using, I just thought I would use up some of these paper shopping bags. I thought they would be a good thing. Okay, so remember, we're going hugging this center one, so we're going around the center, so we're going to put this one on that line. Like that, so that when it folds out it will hug around that central, this central hexagon. Right, our next one, just make sure that's all glued down. We're going to glue that one on this line so that when it folds out, it's going to follow that central hexagon like that. And then our last one, see how they're going all around the central hexagon? You're making a spiral shape. And then the last one is our cover. Now with the cover, you just need to be aware that when this is all folded up, okay, let's start folding, because we need to pay attention to the valley folds and the mountain folds. First one here is a valley fold. Okay, I'll put a V there, and I'm going to cover these up so that doesn't matter. Okay, this next one here is a mountain fold. Okay, so we're going to fold that in the mountain. Now you could fold all of these in a valley fold, but I found it didn't sit nice. I found it sat better if you did the mountain, valley, okay? Mountain. This next one is a valley. And then this one's, I'll put a bit more glue just on the edge of that. Okay, next one is a valley, so we valley fold that one up. This next one around is a mountain. Okay, so we'll mountain fold that one. This next one is a valley, so we valley fold that one. So we've got all them all nice and creased. Make sure you push them down, give them a bit of a good fold with your, you can use your bone folder, just to crease it all really well. Get all those folds working well. Okay. Right, and then we'll unfold it. So we've got all our folds written on there. And then our last one, actually, let's fold that back up, because valley, our last one is a valley as well, because we want to fit this last one on properly. This is where the valley is going to go. Okay, you've got that nice flower shape. Sorry, it's a little bit big. Okay, we're going to do this last fold as a valley as well, because it's going to wrap around the hexagons. So let's fold this up now. Valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley, and I've marked on here where this valley is going to be. Now, when you fold that last one, you need to sit it on here where it's going to sit nicely, and you may need to change where that fold mark is, because you want your cover to cover all the hexagons. Okay, you want it to sit as neat as you can. Okay, and I'm changing the fold of this because it needs to accommodate the thickness of all those other hexagons. So you could make this flap, one flap, a bit bigger, that cover flap, if you want to. That would work too. So I'm just folding that just in a different place. So you need to try that whole thing on, you know, the whole cover together with the others, just to see how that cover is going to sit on there. Okay, like that. Now you could glue this, you could sew it. I think I will glue it, and I will use some of my clips and let it dry before I go any further. I think that will work the best. So let's get all this in neat. I'm just going to look at it all. and it's not going to be exactly neat. It's handmade. It's handmade, so just remember that. It's not going to sit perfect, but you'll be able to get it to sit reasonably perfect. And you know, you can put other things on the edge. You can have things coming out of the edge once you've finished it. So don't stress too much that it's not coming, you think it's not coming out perfect. Right, I'm clipping that together. I'm going to turn this over now and put some stronger glue on that. Okay, I'm going to use some of this, what is it? It's clear glue, and it's a lot stronger and it'll hold it better. Just be careful when you're doing this step too, not to overdo the glue where it spills into these other folds down here. Okay, remember it's all got to unfold, and it's not like a regular spine where the glue can all sit together. We need to make sure that that can unfold. So let's put a couple of clips on. And then I'd say the best thing to do would be to unfold it so that you don't get glue on those other hexagons. Okay. Right, got a little bit of glue coming out. It's okay if it comes out on this side. Okay. But we don't want it coming out on those folds. Okay, I'm just looking at this. That's my cover flap, and that's where it would be glued on. So I've just got to be careful, yeah, that glue does not get on the other folds. Alright, I'm going to leave that there just for a few minutes, just so it starts to take, because it was fairly thick up here. And then I'll take these off and unfold it just to check it. Just want to be careful not to just destroy any of my good hard work on my cloth either. Pop those ones out of the way. Okay. Let's get you down flat and checking. I might put some weight on that, and I'll come back when that is dry. I just don't want to mess around too much with it. I need that to be nice and secure. Alright, we've got our cover on. I put a couple of stitches, I stitched once down here, and then I tried this, and it didn't, I don't know what happened with the pattern on that one, but I ended up folding it around and it looked like it went on the spine. So I did another row so that you can see it all the way around the edge. Now if you're better than me at the sewing machine, you could make your lines go straight. But that's alright. It's all handmade and it doesn't bother me in the least. Okay, so we've got our cover on. Now let's unfold all this and let's look at our signatures now. Okay, now I know this is a bit big for the camera, but we can do it. We can do it. Right? This is how we've got our hexagon journal sitting. Okay, we've got our center here, we've got our cover flap here, and then the rest goes around like this. Okay, now we've got to pay attention to where we want these signatures. Our first signature goes not here where the flap cover flap connects, but on the next one. So I'm just going to put a big S on here because I'm going to cover up all these. Then we miss one fold, and then we put a big S on that one, and our signature is going to go on that one. Then we miss one fold, and we're going to put our signature in on this one that connects to the last flap. Okay, so we've put our S's on. That's where we're going to sew our signatures into. And let's get started on that. Now we'll start on this first one here that's closest to the center. And it's just like every other signature that you're going to put in. Remember, I've only got 2 pages here. I didn't want to over thick, you know, have over thick pages. So I've got some nice colored thread, and it's just a multicolored thread, and I thought that would be nice. It'd give little contrasts through it. And we're going to thread that up onto a pointed darning needle. Okay, leave that there for now. We're going to get an awl and a pad. Okay, put your signatures together like that. We're going to put this pad under the first one. That's right. Okay, under the first one that says S that we just drew. You all play nicely, because you know, if you're making a small one, you'll be able to control it, I think, a little bit easier. Okay, now open up your signatures, and just going to lay that, then match it onto your hexagons. And look, if some pokes over, we can easily trim it up later. That's no problem at all. Okay, and I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So, and I'm just going to eyeball all this. I'm going to put a hole in the middle and then one either side. Right, I'm going to use some more clips because we don't want that slipping, and clip it up just to help us on our way. Grab your needle that you've just threaded up, and we're going to come to the inside. Like, don't come from the outside first. Go to the middle of the signature that you've got open and go down. And remember to leave a tail. Okay, remember to leave a tail in the middle. Then we're going to find that hole and come back up that way. Skip the middle hole, go right down to the last one, go in. So you've got a big line of thread, and then go back through that middle hole. When you put it back through, make sure you've got a thread that comes either side of that middle thread. Okay, cut it off, and I'm just going to just give that a little tug and it'll tighten it, and then do a square knot. A square knot is just left over right and right over left. Okay, you could do a bow, whatever you like, however you like to finish it. I'm just going to cut it like that. And that is our first signature sewn in. Right, let's fold that up so it's out of the way. Take off the clips. And let's do our next signature. So we're going to miss a fold and go to this next one that says S for signature. Okay, we're going to grab out our next lot of signatures, which are just the 2 papers that we did. Match them up. And like I said, if it's not a perfect match and something's hanging out, don't stress, because we can just trim it up later on. Right, we get our awl, and I'm going to this one here is a bit skewy. Hang on, let's match that up better. that, grab our awl, no measuring here, just one in the middle, one either side, and then we're going to start in the middle of the signature and go down into it, and then leaving a tail. We're going to go to the back and come up through that hole. Miss the middle hole, go to the other end and put that through, and you've got your string. Make sure you don't lose that string, and then to finish that we go back through the middle hole, back up, and come out on the other side of the string. Okay, cut your string, give it a little tug so it tightens, and then we do a left over right and a right over left, and that's just a little square knot that won't come undone, and then clip your thread. Okay, we've got 2 signatures in, and then we're going to, that is a mountain fold, this one, unclip them, is a valley fold, and then we'll go round to the last one that says S, and we'll put our last signature in. Alright, we'll get them all nice, open it up, match it up with these hexagons like this, clip it on, grab our awl, and we're going to put a hole in the middle and one either side, and then we'll sew in our last signature. You come undone. It's pretty easy once you get the the pattern of the hexagons. The rest of it goes together pretty easy. So we leave a tail, and we're going to come back up this hole. Oops. Miss the middle, go back through the other opposite side hole, and then we're going to come back up through the middle, through the back, on either side of that long string. Okay, unthread it and just give it a little tug to tighten it, and do a square knot, which is left over right and right over left. And then just cut those threads off. Put my pin up so I don't lose it. Take off the clips, and then we can fold this one up, which is a valley fold. Oh, that's a mountain, then that's a valley, and then that folds over. And look what you've got. You've got a little junk journal. Alright, so when you fold it out, see, it is going to add some thickness to your junk journal, and you will see some pages sitting out, and that's okay. That's okay. If you are too fussy, you could go along and with your scissors and just clip a little bit off if you don't like how much they stick out. It doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because you're not going to see the whole thing together. You're going to, I mean, if you want to lay it open and look at it all day, you might, but you're not going to see that. Right, I'm going to put, because I did a little boo-boo down here, I might put a little tag on here, or you could decorate it however you like. You could put some lace along it or anything. And even if you put some lace along the edge of your flap, then you will disguise anything that's not sitting exactly how you would like it to sit. So we can just pull that down, and we can use our bone folder and just crease that down. Once it's all together, then you can just push it in how you want it to go, okay, and make it do what you need it to do. All right, let's have a look at our book. Now we're going to open it up, and it opens up in a concertina type fashion. Mountain Valley, Mountain Valley. And we've got our little signatures in here. Okay, we've got 2 pages in each that give us 4 pages. Okay, and then there's 4 pages here, and there's 4 pages over here. Exactly how I made the small one, but just on a tad bigger scale. So if you didn't want to add much more bulk to this, I would suggest that you only decorate very lightly. You could just use tissue papers, you could use napkins, that type of light decorating. I'm just rubbing out some of the marks that helped me here in case they get seen, but you don't have to. If you're going to cover it all up, just leave them. But I was thinking that I wanted to do some artwork in mine. Now that got glue on it, so that's not going to cover up that well. I will definitely cover up these ones that have got writing on them. So I'll just turn that back. Now what I was saying before, if you wanted to, your mountain folds on this side, a valley folds on this side. So you could add more signatures to the valley folds on the other side and have lots of pages. But keep in mind, it will add to the thickness, which you would have to adjust, or you'd have to leave this last cover off to get a gauge on how thick your book is and how, you know, to sit how to sit your cover. Okay, but I'm just going to keep it to the 3 signatures in here. Okay, let's fold this up. Valley, Mountain. I'll rub these out while I'm going. In my next video I will decorate this. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I think that's enough for today. I don't want to get you totally bamboozled with this pattern, because it's a fun pattern. It's something really different, and I wanted to use my Hexagon templates that I got from BB Craft in ways that weren't just for fabric. And I just love how this is coming out. Okay, so I hope I've explained the construction of this clear enough. Just refer back to the little guide that I drew if you're not sure. And also, if you wanted to make this with a smaller hexagon, and you've got a big piece of paper, or like I've got some big pieces of art paper, you could draw this out on a pattern of paper or whatever, even fabric, and if you cut just this red line and the outside of the flower, then you could just fold it all up in one piece. Okay, I've used different sections. Every hexagon has been joined together. But if you've got that bigger piece of fabric that you might want to do a little needle book with, or if you've got a big piece of art paper and all these 7 hexagons fit on it, then you don't need to join. You could just do it all in one piece. And like I said, you just make these cuts and the cut around the edge and then put your folds in. So that's another way you could use this as well. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed watching this today, and I hope you've got some inspiration on how you could use these awesome templates. You know, I really love this set. I'm so glad I got it, and you know, I can use it for fabric and paper. So if you're new here, please like, share and subscribe. I'd love to have you here with me on my channel. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to pop me a question in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer it. And we'll come back in my next video and we'll do some decorating in this one, and then in the video after that I'll show you how to put the small one together. It's a little bit different, but it's another fun pattern too. Alright, take care, have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon for a new video. Bye.